Hey guys, it's JaaackJack and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another plan with me. I know it's like almost middle of July and I'm just now getting around to my July planner, but nonetheless, here it is. I hope it gives you some inspiration for your bullet journals or whatever it may be. But I'm doing something a little bit different. Instead of having 2 pages for like the decorative theme part, I'm only going to do 1 page. And then same with the monthly. Instead of having 2 pages dedicated to the monthly, I'm only going to do 1. And the reason being is because I would ideally love to use this journal for the whole year, but I feel like we're running through pages really quickly, so I need to save some space where I can. So fingers crossed. I'm going to do that moving forward from July to the rest of this year, or the rest of this notebook really. So with that being said, our theme for the month of July is going to be beachy summer vibes, and I drew this cute little surfboard and this VW bus, which is like my dream car. Like I've always loved a VW bus. And so I'm so excited to incorporate it into this spread. And I have kind of a new idea for how I want to incorporate a hidden pocket for my monthly goals. So here on this piece of paper, I have the surfboard with the fence. I'm going to cut a little slit out in that fence. And then on this piece of paper that has the VW bus and it has like a little smoke coming behind it, that's going to be my monthly goals. And it's going to hide behind the fence and behind the surfboard. And then you just pull it out. I had a few different ideas on how I could execute this, but I feel like this is just going to be the easiest way. So that's what we're going to do. Now I'll go ahead and speed up through the drawing part here, but this was my first time doing, I think you call it like a perspective picture. So what I wanted to do was have like the beach far off in the distance, but like the surfboard, the fence, the VW bus, it's like up close. And it took me kind of a while to try and figure it out, but I think I did a decent job. I mean, it doesn't make the most sense, but it's supposed to be like the surfboard and the fence is like on a hill, and in the background you have the beach. That was the goal. So I sketched that out, and then I'm also going to move on to the July part of the monthly page. And so we have Sunday through Saturday, pretty standard. And then for the squares for like each day of the month, I actually didn't want to do perfect squares. I wanted to do almost like misshapen ovals. It kind of reminded me of like rocks that you would find at the beach. Like they're not all the same, they're not all perfect. So that was kind of my idea here. So I just kind of free-handed like these oval shapes for the days of the week. And now I'm going to go ahead and trace out the picture I have on 2 separate pieces of paper here. So we have the fence with the surfboard and then the VW bus. So I actually had to look up a few different like tutorials on how to draw wood because I wasn't sure how, but I think I sort of got it. So the planks that I have, they're not perfectly straight, like they're a little jagged. So that was like step 1, to create like slightly jagged lines as I was like drawing the shapes, and they're not all the same height either. So they're all a little misshapen. And then once you have that in, to draw the details on each plank, this is where I really don't know what I was doing, but you just draw like some random squiggly lines, a few random like circles, and like a few loops here and there. I don't know how to explain it, but I will like show you guys up close. I don't think it was like a perfect, fence, but it did the job, especially once I colored it in brown. I think you get the idea. Now we're going to do the same thing and trace out the VW bus. It actually wasn't too hard because there's not a ton of like crazy details on a bus like this. I feel like the main signature is you want to have this line going kind of through the middle and then swoop downwards. I feel like that's very iconic on a VW bus. And then, yeah, you add the wheels, the windows, and boom, you're done. The little handle I drew was really random looking, but it's okay. And that's what it looks like. Now you guys know with every plan with me, I like to have 3 to 4 main colors that I use for the entire month. So these are the 4 that I'm going with. We have a yellow, a blue, kind of a bluish greenish color and then a green color. And the reason I like doing this is because it just makes everything very cohesive throughout the entire month, and it also makes it easier while I'm planning and decorating like day by day. I don't really have to think much. I just grab the same colors over and over again. And so, yeah, those are the four I'm sticking with. Yes, we'll have some accent colors here and there, like on the VW bus. Obviously, I'm going to use some gray on there for like the details, black for the wheels. I started out drawing them brown, but I thought that looked weird. So I use black for the wheels, and the yellow is really the only pop of color here on the VW bus because everything else is white. And now I'm going to cut that out. And I just think it looks so cute. I did this off camera, but I did kind of quote laminate unquote the VW bus. I just took some duct tape to make it a little stronger. And now for the fence, obviously I'm using brown, and that's not one of my signature colors for the month. And like the sand has to be a sand color. So yes, we do have our accent colors, but as far as the main colors go, we're going to stick with those four for the entire month. So now I'm cutting the fence out with the surfboard, and that's good to go. So we can set those aside, and I'm going to color in the beach in the background, color in those mountains, the little cliff here on the side, my palm trees, which I'm terrible at drawing palm trees, but they're really little, so it's okay. They're not a huge focal point. So it all works out. So now I'm going to measure out where I want to cut the slit in the fence, and I'm just going to take my little X-Acto knife pen and cut out where I want the smoke, whatever you want to call it, to come out of. And then I still left space on the edge because you want to be able to glue the edge down. So you don't want it to go all the way to the end of the paper, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to glue everything down. So that first part of the fence, I glued it all down, but this part, you just want to glue the perimeter, which is what I did. And so now we have this gap right there where the car can go in and out of, or the smoke part can go in and out of. And so here's what it looks like taped up. You can't really tell. And I also taped a little bit right there just so it didn't rip off easily. And there we go. And now I'm going to write my monthly goals on there, and just think it turned out so cute. And so now here's a walkthrough of the rest of the month because I did that off camera. So this first week, we just went with the simple verticals, which I love so much. And then I have the water, like the ocean waves behind it. And then for the next week, I have these boxes. And then on the empty box, I did another little like beach drawing here. And then we have the like vertical boxes in this one, and then another spread of just vertical. And then the last one, I did horizontal, which I don't normally do, but I wanted to find a way to incorporate the bus one more time in this spread. So I actually love how this turned out. Now the only thing left is to add a little tab on the edge, and my camera was about to die, so I really rushed at this, but I feel like I could have picked a better color. But I just grabbed this green construction paper and I just glued that down so it sticks out. So we have this nice little tab for the month of July. But that is it for this entire plan with me. I hope you guys enjoyed, got some fun ideas for your journaling and all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!